Welcome to another College Bowl game prediction series picks. This is the Insight Bowl between the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma comes into this game with a 9-3 record, finishing tied for third in the Big 12. Iowa comes in with a 7-5 record, finishing fifth in the Big 10. Now the offensive statistics start to get really uneven. Just to throw one at you, Iowa is 69th in the nation with almost 380 yards per game. Not bad.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Oklahoma's fourth
Yeah.
with 530 yards per game.
That's a lot.
That's 150 more yards per game than Iowa. It gets even worse going farther down. While Oklahoma maintains its fourth spot in the nation in passing with 371 yards per game, while Iowa is 54th with 250 yards per game.
That's good, but then
Not good enough.
Landry Jones is kind of good too.
To cap that off, points scored, Oklahoma averages 40.3 points per game, which is 10th in the nation, while Iowa averages just over 28 points per game, which is 56th in the nation.
Yeah.
And then Iowa really struggles on road games. They are 1-4 this year, while Oklahoma's 4-2. And this game's in Tempe, Arizona, so it'll be much closer to Oklahoma than it will be to Iowa. Oklahoma comes in this game with a lot of offensive threats out due to injuries, such as Dominic Whaley, who had 627 yards on the ground this year and 9 touchdowns. They're also missing another starting wideout in Jazz Reynolds, as well as Ryan Broyles, who led the team in receptions with over 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns.
He also has the NCAA's leading receiver with 349 receptions. So that's all time in the NCAA. He's the leader. So that's going to be definitely a big blow to this
Huge loss.
Oklahoma offense.
And that's not it. They're missing another tailback in Brandon Williams, as well as a fullback in Aaron Ripkowski, who will most likely miss the game.
Yes, Dominic Whaley, after 6 games, broke his ankle, so he was gone. Then Ryan Broyles tore his ACL, he's gone. Jazz Reynolds, he has a problem with his kidney. Brandon Williams had a problem with his neck, not good. And then with Ripkowski out with his back, I mean, a lot of offensive threats out for this game.
One big one that Oklahoma still has, though, is quarterback Landry Jones, who was Heisman potential multiple years in a row, finished with over 4,300 yards in the year, 28 TDs, and 14 interceptions, which is definitely a little higher than his usual.
Yes, he was tied for the Big 12 lead with 14 interceptions, so that's definitely not good.
Iowa comes in with James Vandenberg, who completes almost 60% of his passes, has 2,800 yards, 23 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions.
Yeah, I think most of those passes are going Marvin McNutt's way. He has a school record for just, I don't know, anything. He's probably amazing. And he led the Big Ten with about 1,270 receiving yards and 12 touchdown catches, so he's definitely a threat for Iowa.
Iowa comes in with star running back Marcus Coker, who has almost 1,400 yards and 15 touchdowns, as well as Marvin McNutt, who Scott just mentioned, who has 78 catches for over 1,250 yards and 12 touchdowns. He's averaging 16 yards a catch.
Yeah, and with Coker, second best rusher in the Big Ten. I mean, Big Ten has some pretty good defenses out there with, Michigan
only
State.
Behind Monty Ball, who
Yeah.
ran for, 38
Yeah,
touchdowns
he
this
has like
year?
38 total touchdowns.
Which is second in FBS history.
I mean, he's definitely an elite rusher. Oklahoma definitely finished the year probably like on a skid. I mean, they finished 3-3 in the last 3 games. They allowed an average of about 30 points per game in that run, and they allowed about 450 yards of total offense. So, I mean, with the offensive injuries, definitely hampering their progress. And then now, with these defensive struggles, I think that it's going to be tough for Oklahoma to win this game. But they still have Frank Alexander, who had the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, so there's a bright point. And he tied for the conference lead with about 8.5 sacks, so he definitely can influence the game. But still, turnovers. Oklahoma had only 1 turnover in their 3 losses, while in their 9 wins they had 24.
Wow.
So
Maybe they should throw a couple interceptions to start the game.
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma definitely needs to get this one.
Speaking of defensive interceptions, Iowa comes in only getting 3 interceptions in their last 6 games,
Yeah.
which is probably dead to last in anywhere.
Yeah, they are last defensively in the Big Ten against the pass, so that's good for Landry Jones, who's just an amazing quarterback. But still, Oklahoma's defense. Still, I just gotta emphasize that. I mean, in the last 7 opponents that they faced, they've given up at least 120 rushing yards, including 278 to Oklahoma State. I mean, I think this actually will be a close game.
The last statistic we'll throw your way is defensively, both teams are giving up around 23 points a game on average, so pretty even in terms of points against.
Oklahoma has a 14-point spread over Iowa, and I think, yeah, Oklahoma will win this game, but definitely not by 14. I mean, with these defensive struggles and with the offensive injuries, Oklahoma, I think the spread should be closer to like 5 or 6, honestly. It's just too many injuries, too many struggles that Oklahoma has.
I don't see how you could keep the spread that high with Oklahoma missing their starting running back and wide receiver.
Yeah, it's not happening. Yeah, Oklahoma will win this game. I think it's just going to be a lot closer than people will think. I mean, Iowa does. Yeah, their passing defense isn't the greatest, but they have a lot of offensive weapons, and especially going against this Oklahoma defense who has struggled. Iowa's got Marvin McNutt. They have Marcus Coker, still a great rusher, and with Oklahoma's rushing defense not looking so well right now, I think it'll definitely be close, but I still think that Oklahoma will win. I think the final score will be 35-28.
Oklahoma's definitely not going to win this game by 14, and watch out for Iowa to pull the upset threat with all their star players in, especially with Oklahoma's defensive struggles. So if Marcus Coker can really pick up the running attack, I honestly could see Iowa winning this game. And you know what? I'm going upset. I'm taking Iowa in this game 31-28 with Marvin McNutt making some key plays from James Vandenberg down the stretch, and I see Oklahoma's struggles continuing.
Thank you for watching this episode of our college football bowl game prediction. Join us for our next game, which is the Meineke Car Care Bowl of Texas with Texas A&M and Northwestern.